Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess I have to face that in this awful place I shouldn't show a trace of doubt, but pulled against the grain, I feel a little pain that I would rather do without. I'd rather be free, free, free. I'd rather be free, free from here. Thank you. It's called escapism. Who cares who's first as long as the people are here. So, you might notice that I'm recording from a different angle. That's because we were busy today doing things, and my bed does not have any bedspread on it. My bedspread is over there on my shoe box. It's actually technically a toy box, but I put shoes in it. Because what does an 18-year-old want with toys? You saw and heard nothing. Um, yeah, so I'm really hyped for the final episode of Steven Universe Diamond Days, and oh, whoopsies. Um, it's going to be on Monday, this upcoming Monday, so the day after tomorrow, and I'm super duper hyped for it. So that's why I am going to draw Steven Universe things. It doesn't have to necessarily be the characters, it could be different characters doing the things that Steven Universe characters would do, but I'm just feeling kind of Steven-y. In fact, hold please. No, come back. In honor of the hype, I am going to have my Rose Quartz Funko Pop figurine and my Pink Diamond Funko Pop figurine sit here on my computer while I work. So, there's that. I'm turning 19 this year. Gosh, I feel old. Moves forward very slowly. Are you gonna behave, Misty? She's being wary of me because, well, I was kind of hitting her earlier because she was barking at nothing, and this scared me and made me angry. Thank you very much, Autisticness, for making me sensitive to sound. Up here, come on. Do you need my help? This dog is seriously getting on my nerves. Ain't no cereal on my milk right now. Careful, you don't want to knock Pink Diamond over. Up here, come on. This dog will not get off my lap. Yeah, yeah. And we're getting ready for the baby. My mom might be delivering sooner than we thought. They want to try to keep the baby in for at least another month, cuz I told you guys my mom was due to have her baby in March, on March 17th, but she's been having early labor pains, and it's not close to March, so that's pretty dangerous. So, um, so it could be like 6 weeks until before she had, like, it could be 6 weeks and then she has the baby. So, Yeah, yeah, I know, but if she were to have the baby now, it would be premature, and that's dangerous because it's January and she's due in March, but she's been having early labor pains, and she's actually in a lot of pain right now. My mom's been in a whole lot of pain. Mm, okay, let's see. I'm gonna draw a request for Toffee the dingo before I work on the Steven Universe stuff because I promised I would. So I'm just gonna pull up the reference images that they gave me. So that's gonna take a few seconds. I really like what they made for me. I asked them to make my Flippy proposing to my Flaky, like my versions of them from my AU. I love getting fan art. I don't get it as frequently anymore, though. Hi, Lucas the spider. Yep, go ahead, Queen Nemmer, knock yourself out. I'm just trying to find these references because I know I downloaded them recently. I know I have them. I've been watching all kinds of Crystal Clear Diamond Days theories and Steven Universe stuff to get me hyped up. Can't wait. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Okay, there's Toffee and Short Fuse. Oh, you have a girlfriend now? That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry, I just love petting Pink Diamond's hair because it's floof hair. And you know I have a thing for floof hair. Of course I do. I'm sorry that you're sick. What are you sick with? And hey, just because I don't immediately reply to everyone's messages, that doesn't mean that I don't see them. Okay. So Toffee said that these two characters of theirs are in a romantic relationship. Mm. All right. If you're evil and you're on the rise, you can count on the four of us taking you down. 'Cause we're good and evil never beats us. We'll win the fight and then go out for pizzas. We are the crystal gems. We'll always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl and Steven. So cute. Ah, no, 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 no. Go back in. Go back in. That's what she said. I hope you feel better soon. Hardly any diggity. Alright, let's see. I should pull up that other reference photo too. No, 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 no. I didn't mean to make it go full screen. There we go. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna draw that. At least not right now, because I'm working on something that was requested by a friend, and I'm going to work on that. Now, I've never drawn these characters before, so I'm gonna feel kinda awkward. Okay. So it's obvious Short Fuse is a boy and Toffee is a girl. Alright then. Maybe another time. My sister has some leftover birthday cake upstairs, and just the smell of it gives me a tummy ache. I said this to my mom, and she said because it's so sugary, and I fell dramatically onto her bed saying, "Yes!" My sister was also throwing a tantrum earlier today and being really immature because my sister is a very lazy, immature brat, and she gets taken to do all this fun stuff. And yet she never does any help around the house. Like, she never picks up her toys, and she never helps me when I ask her to. And every time she's asked to help, she always says, "Oh, I'm tired." And then she'll like go on her tablet and she won't even help at all. And then we tell her, "If you're tired, then you can go to bed." And she says, "No." Sugar cookies, huh? Sugar cookies as in cookies with sugar sprinkled on them, or sugar cookies as in those soft cookies with the frosting and the sprinkles on top that you can buy at the grocery store. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna move out anytime soon, but hey, Midnight Mass, welcome. I'm sorry if my comments to what you guys say in the chat might come across as rude or whatever, but sometimes, like, I don't even understand what the heck you guys are talking about, or what you're saying is making me uncomfortable. So I'm just saying that now. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that I genuinely either don't have anything to say about what you just said, or I don't understand what you're talking about, or what you're saying genuinely makes me uncomfortable. Seriously. One looks really tall and the other looks really short. I swear, these two could be like siblings. I don't know. Toffee looks more like a kid than anything. I wish I knew what animals they were. Okay, I think I got a pretty good idea going here. Now I can finally get a start. Hey, Grandma, welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you and talk to you again. I hope you're feeling better now that you're out of the hospital. You're not allowed to die until I say. That's a frickin' order. Yeah, I mean, memes and all that are funny, and misspelling things like with two C's at the end instead of the CK, all of that is funny, but when it's all you ever say and it's all you ever do, it just becomes annoying, and it becomes kind of sickening to watch. Like, if all you're doing is spamming memes or misspelling things in a joking matter, and you never take anything seriously, and you don't even try to genuinely speak to someone, it just it's funny for a while, but then it just stops becoming funny. And that's what I tell my sister every time she makes a potty joke or like uses bathroom humor. Like, I get that she's a kid and all, and it's something that she'll eventually grow out of. But I think that at her age, she just needs to realize it just it's not funny. Like the first few times it's funny, but then when it's all you do, it's just stale and annoying and it's uncomforting. Just can you genuinely speak to me without spamming a meme or misspelling something or saying some kind of joke? Oh, well, I don't have a problem with sex jokes. I mean, some of them are a little over the line. I mean, you shouldn't really make sex jokes on Amino because it's not appropriate and it's punishable. It's punished by banning and all that. But I'm not going to stop you. Gosh, is short fuse like a kangaroo or something? I'm just going to make that rough estimate. Oopsies. You better not die soon, or I'll personally get an invitation to heaven and then go there and kick your butt because you died before I said you were allowed to. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm sorry, Grandma. So right now I'm drawing the legs and the feet. Oh, whoopsies. That one isn't lined up properly. There we go. That's better. I should probably move the head up higher a little bit. Hang on, I'm gonna grab my eraser. Night night, Grandma. I'll see you soon. I'm probably not gonna see every message in the chat because right now, other than my YouTube tab, I have two reference images on my screen, so I can't even see my face on the webcam anymore. So yeah. Just so you know, I'm only gonna see the bottommost message that's on the chat on my end. I really don't like when people get mad at me and say things like, "Hey, do you even care about what I'm talking about right now?" Like, of course I care about what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna see everything that everyone says. Cause like, I'm trying to concentrate on my drawings, but also I take peeks at the chat to see what's going on. So I'm not gonna see everything, and it's not because I don't care. It's just that I'm not gonna see everything, okay? So don't give me the whole guilt trip thing like, do you even care? Or like, hey, why didn't you see it? Or did you see this? Or like whatever and blah 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 blah. Like that's annoying. Because to me that says that you want all attention to be on you. And seriously, I just wanted to say that. Hey Scooter Animations, welcome. Happy Assassin kids. Alright. Have fun on your own stream. See ya. I suck at profile views on Happy Tree Friends, but like honestly, if you think about it, that's fair because profile views are not really something you see a lot of in Happy Tree Friends because like it's always the front view or the 3/4 quarter view. But seriously though. Anyway, so about the Diamond Days thing, like about Battle of Heart and Mind. What are you guys hoping to see in the special? And try to stray away from obvious things like seeing White Pearl get healed because yes, that would be fun to see, but obviously it's probably not going to happen really soon, but maybe it will and I'm just stupid. But what are you most excited for in Battle of Heart and Mind? Because personally, I have I like, you know how in Steven Universe the fusion between two different types of gems is seen as some kind of taboo or something forbidden. I'm very curious about why that is. Like why is it so bad for two different types of gems to fuse? Like, I mean, they're not really doing anything wrong. I mean, like, it's just two different gems fusing. What is so wrong with that? Like, why does Homeworld see it as such a terrible, disgusting thing? That's what I'm really curious about. And I really want, please, can someone in the episode, Steven or like, can Steven please ask them why it's so bad? Can Steven please ask one of the Diamonds why they think cross gem fusion is so bad? I want to know why they think it's so terrible. Because, like, it can't be that that they fear that the fusion could be more powerful than them because we've seen how, like, in Reunited, Blue Diamond was very it was very easy for her to use her powers and just destabilize Alexandrite, so she defused back into Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. So it can't be that and like seriously, like why is it such a bad thing to them? I want to know. Like why do they view yeah, like why do they view cross gem fusion as so bad? Why do they look at it the same way we would look at incest? Which, by the way, incest is a terrible, terrible thing. Like, even in fiction, incest is gross. I don't really care if you say, oh, but it's so cute. They're so cute. I don't care if they're siblings. I'm just going to pretend that they're not to make me feel better. Like, yeah, okay. And I'm currently writing a Gravity Falls incest fan fiction, but not because I think it's cute, but because I wanted to write something that's dramatic, and incest does make for a good drama story. But if people are gonna start thinking that incest is okay in real life just because it looks so cute and so sweet in fiction, then we're gonna have a problem. Really, that's actually a pretty interesting parallel. Mm, well, that's that's an interesting theory. But I really do want to hear it from the Diamonds' mouths. Like, I don't want to hear them, and I don't want to hear them say because it's not normal or because it's not how Homeworld works. I don't want to hear some half-assed cheesy answer like that. I want to genuinely hear a genuine answer from them on why they think cross-gem fusion is so bad. Because an answer like because it's wrong or because it's gross or anything like that, that is not that's not an answer. That's just That's not an answer. I don't know what to classify it is, but it's not an answer. I want to know why. I have to know. To quote Aaron Hansen, I does is have to know. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working on this. Doesn't look like Short Fuse has a tummy oval thing here, so I won't use that. I love how both of their heart-shaped noses are like black. That's cute. Yes, that is what incest is. Like if you have sex with your blood related sister or your blood related brother or your blood related mother or father or any kind of relative, it doesn't matter if it's half siblings or half whatever, it's still incest. And it's not only is it gross and a crime against God, but also if you have a child with someone you're related to, some the child could end up having a chromosomal abnormality, meaning there could be something wrong with their chromosomes and their genetic makeup. And they could end up being, excuse my wording, but they could end up being mentally retarded. Like they could have some serious problems with them. So that's another reason why it's such a bad thing. Okay, it looks like Toffee has some sharp teeth, so yeah, I know it's gross. It is gross. And what really pisses me off is that people who commit incest, they don't even think of it as a bad thing. Like I hate it when, okay, this could obviously just be me going off of what I've seen from Law and Order, but from what I've seen on Law and Order SVU, if this is genuinely how incest committers react, then I'm just like, ugh, whatever. But generally, the episodes that have incest involved, when they confront the people who have committed incest, usually their excuses are, I don't see them as my family. I see them as an individual person. Or another excuse I saw another person use was, you don't know him like I have. We've been together for a long time. Like you like it doesn't matter what you see him or her as. That doesn't change what they are in real life. And that's someone who is related to you by blood, which makes it even more disgusting. You're right. You're right. I'm very sorry. I just got really angry earlier about things. I just got angry earlier about some dumb things, and it just reminded me of other things that I got angry about. Okay. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to calm down here. Sorry, I don't even know what made me angry in the first place. Oh, yeah, it's because people just think that everything has to be about them. I don't think that's how it works, but okay, Cindy. That is definitely not how it works. Okay. I was listening to the soundtrack from Into the Spider-Verse earlier. It has a pretty awesome soundtrack. I know, I know. I hated saying that word because every time my mom says that word, I always say, "Don't say that word," and she says, "I wasn't saying it in that sense," and I'm just like, "I don't care what sense you're saying it in, it's still offensive." But I couldn't think of a better term. I had to use all my willpower just to say that word, which I don't know why. But anyway, it's done and over with. Yes, you said that once before. What is Happy Assassin Kids? Can you please explain to me what that is? I really hope I'm drawing this character right. It's kind of hard to draw a character that belongs to someone else when they have such a different art style from you, so you can't help but feel like you're drawing some part of it wrong because it doesn't match up with what your art style is. And can my glasses please stop falling down my face? It's a joke. Can you please explain to me what the context of the joke is, please? Yeah, I know. People have called me names in the past too. They've called me things like a freak and racist, even though I'm not racist. It's just it's just dummies being dummies. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to bullies. They just don't know what they're talking about. Pac-Man eyes. I love Pac-Man shaped eyes. Okay, random conversation topics from now on. Random conversation topics so I don't get mad. Okay, to everyone in the chat, what is the funniest movie you've ever seen? And if you can't choose one because you've seen too many, just pick a random one. Pick a random funny movie that you've seen that you thought was really funny, and tell me what it was. Maybe I might know it. Just everyone, tell me what the funniest movie you've ever seen is. Because me personally, I think one of the funniest movies I've ever seen is the Lego Batman movie. When I saw it in theaters for the first time, I was like crying with laughter in on like most of the parts. I like that one part where they're like facing against the Joker's second army, like near the end of the movie. And Batman was like to Dick Grayson, he said, "Now, when we punch these guys, words describing the impacts are gonna spontaneously appear out of thin air," and it was true. And it was so funny. I'm gonna add a little more character to this little little sweet bun. That's what Toffee is now, a sweet bun. Just because I say so. Yep. Add a little more floof to the ears. That looks good. I like short fuses boxing gloves. But anyway, guys, what's the funniest movie you've ever seen? Tell me in the chat. And tell me what the funniest part from it was that you can remember. I gave Short Fuse a little chest floof because why not? All right then. Okay, what have we here? Tricked into dressing up as a bunny for a party. That's so mean. If I was in that movie, I would be one of the people who comforted that person for saying, and I'm saying like, I'm sorry, that was such a mean trick. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I've heard of Legally Blonde, but I've never actually seen it. I don't really know what it's about. But with a title like Legally Blonde, then yeah, it must be a comedy. Yeah, you told us that last stream, and I am I have no desire to see this movie, but good for you. I I think wasn't didn't Zac Efron voice Ted from the Lorax, you know, the movie that was made by Illumination? Oh, it's okay. I hid it if it makes you feel any better. Oh, he did, huh? Yeah, I knew it. I like that one part in the Lorax where like they're eating dinner and it's like Jello. Oh, it makes me wonder how it tastes. I wonder if it actually does taste like the real things, like if the broccoli shaped Jello tastes like broccoli. But anyway, my point is, I like when his mom stands up and starts dancing to the hustle when she like turns the disco mode on their electronic tree. Ooh, Toffee has some freckles. I'll put some freckles on. Probably not going to be as many freckles as there is in the reference photo, but whatever. My aunt Stephanie has freckles everywhere, and I mean everywhere. She has freckles all over her face, like in this general area, and she has freckles all over her shoulders and all over the front of her shoulders too. I think the music from the Lorax was absolutely amazing, and it was just one of the best parts of the movie. Okay, now I'm drawing the cheek tufts on Short Fuse. I've never seen The Greatest Showman. I mean, I saw previews for it, and I saw that they had it like on DVD at Barnes and Noble or something. But like, I don't know. I didn't really express any interest in it. I mean, with a title like The Greatest Showman, it must be a good movie. My mom is laughing upstairs. An angel got its wings. I have this stupid Post Malone song from Into the Spider Verse stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, Bella. Yeah, I've heard of I've heard of I've heard Nemeo is like, of course I watch Nemeo because the anime his animations are good. I mean, some of the things he does, like some of the things he animates, like his GIFs on DeviantArt, which I may or may not have favorited and removed from my favorites several times due to my conflicting feelings about such things. The He's a bit concerning. Like he he is very concerning to me. I like his Toothy X Cuddles things, and it's inspired me for the ship too, like to make Cuddles a femboy in my alternate universe. But I've also heard some pretty bad things about Nemeo, about how he can be kind of a jerk sometimes, and about how he told someone to kill himself or whatever. I don't know. It's been very vague. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know anything. It's just he's talented, don't get me wrong. He's very, very talented and I love his content, but some of the things he creates is a bit concerning. And some of the things I've heard some of the things I've seen him say on DeviantArt about how he likes to fap is concerning, but whatever. Yeah. So I have mixed feelings about Nemeo. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, so every time I pronounce his name, I'm thinking of mayonnaise. And like I mean, I'd love to create happy tree friend animations of my own someday, like I don't know, like work in progress sketch gifs of like the characters like summoning their weapons and all that and maybe even some quick kisses. I don't know. But then I'm afraid that if I post that stuff, people are gonna see what a cringy, stupid fangirl I am. And I don't know if I want that. You defended the actual HTF creator against him? Yeah, his OC Snowers has a very, very good design. I mean, I love the leather jacket. It's very fashionable because I actually really love leather jackets. I actually think I should get one of my own someday because I actually used to have one. But some of the things that he does with his OC is concerning. Like first he has like a thing going on with Toothy and he's like, "Oh, I love this gay beaver." And then he's just like, "Oh, I ship myself with Giggles now." And like, I don't know. Well, well, I agree that some of the prices are too much, like $100, seriously, but in all honesty, when you pay those high prices for artwork of a character from a show that's as awesome as Happy Tree Friends, I feel like when you get it in the mail, you're just like, "Oh, this was so worth it." I mean, if he put his price at $1,000, I feel like that would be really, really taking it too far. But honestly, I don't really like. He made it. He can price it however he wants. I mean, if he priced it at $1,000, I would be concerned, but he didn't. Okay, I'll talk about something else. Um, so, oh, here's another conversation topic. What is your favorite classic cartoon? And by classic, I mean, like, cartoons, like, possibly from your childhood, like, maybe from the early 2000s, maybe from the 90s or 80s or 70s, like, any cartoon that was possibly from, like, 10 like, 15 plus years ago. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Bunny Balloon. Well put. I'm gonna add a little more floof to the ears, because that's what I do. I think one of my favorite classic cartoons is oh, I actually have a few favorites. I like Animaniacs. That was from the 90s. I like Static Shock. That was from the early 2000s. Like it came out the year I was born, 2000. I I think I've heard of Little Lulu. I've definitely heard of Little Audrey. Oh yeah, I've heard of Little Lulu. Never mind. I've uh I've definitely heard of her. I just had to think about who he was. Stop talking about Ted Bundy. I also watch I also watched Kids Next Door. I also watched Tom and Jerry, but I didn't want to watch Tom and Jerry for like more than just a few episodes because I don't know. It just got kind of tedious after watching the same like watching Tom and Jerry try to kill one another practically. It gets tedious after a while and you only want to see it like once or twice a day for that's what how it is for me. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Mm, thank you. I mean, I understand you're very excited. Believe me, I know the excitement of wanting to see something. I'm very excited for Diamond for the final episode of Diamond Days. I'm just hoping and praying to God that the hiatus, like if we that we don't get another long, super long hiatus. I mean, I get that animation takes time, but like honestly, Cartoon Network itself is to blame because all they ever run is episodes of Teen Titans Go. It's like they're trying to say, no, 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 Cartoon Network is about stupidness and not about heart and humor and love and all that. Cartoon Network is made for stupid cartoons that don't even care about emotional attachment. I feel like that's what Cartoon Network, when Cartoon Network just blasts Teen Titans Go episodes and it has no diversity whatsoever. It basically is just saying to me, we like airing programs that teach people how to be jerks and not actually care about things. Well, yeah, but we're all messed up in some way. I mean, we are humans after all. Tell ya, Toffee, I don't know if you're still here, but what I'm making for you right now, what you made for me was way better than this. Hey, Floor, are you there? Because I think I might have some advice for you about what you asked me about your fic. Needless to say, I'm losing my way. Oh, whoopsies. I didn't mean to put an I there. Okay, so if you want to make the characters like, was your question how to give them more artistic flair? I can't remember what your question was. Can you jog my memory, please? Um, I don't I Cindy, I could be less clear on what you're talking about. I mean, are you talking about Dash and HTF as in the whole HTF plus Cupcakes Flutter Island Rainbow Factory thing? Or are you talking about some kind of DC superhero thing because Nightwing is a DC superhero, I believe? Because just I could not be less clear on what you're talking about. Cindy, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to speak English like a normal person, or at least dissect your words. Hmm. Then yes, I do know what you're talking about. I am eagerly awaiting the next part. Okay, let me think. Sometimes what I do is like I use these I can't remember what they're called. I know there's a word for them. I learned this word in English last semester. But like you obviously know the character's name, but like sometimes when you have them speak again in a line, um, and then you have like say like an example line would probably be Lu- Lucy Lucy barked and that scared Emily into covering her ears and gritting her teeth in fear. And when you refer to Lucy again in the next line, you would use a different word other than her name, and that would be the black dachshund continued to bark, much to Emily's discomfort. So the reader still knows that you are talking about Lucy, and they're just like, oh, so it just kind of reminds them that, oh, this is what the person looks like, or that's who they're talking about. I love that scene from Pulp Fiction. I haven't seen the movie in full view, but I've seen scenes from it. Shouldn't say the same thing again like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's funny. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Another thing is like sometimes when you have a scene with no dialogue, just try to like describe what's going on. Like Patricia's yellow hair seemed to stand perfectly still along with her. She continued to stare at me. My own skin, like, no, not like that. My skin became covered in goosebumps as I felt her eerie stare grow eerier, or something like that. So make sure to be descriptive, but not too descriptive. You don't want to have it be like alphabet soup, and you don't just don't make your writing not like alphabet soup, but more like make it so it's an alphabet soup that they can digest. So make sure to be descriptive, but not too descriptive in between lines of dialogue. You could also give a little backstory insight if a character brings up a topic, possibly like I this is worse than that time you told John that I crashed his car by accident when I told you not to tell him that I did it, or something like that. And then like they could say something vague like that, and then you could like have a non-dialogue, like the narrator saying explaining what they were talking about very briefly. I don't know. I'm not a professional writer. I don't know how to give good advice. I'm just trying to word this the best I possibly can, but When I write fan fictions, I normally just come up with a crazy idea on a limb, and then I just start writing a story based on a raw idea that I have, which is essentially not the best way to write a story. It's better to plan out your story, like what characters you want and what you want to happen, what the conclusion would possibly be. It's like writing a rough draft, like you're doing, Floor. But writing rough drafts and planning out a story isn't something I normally do, so I don't really have the best writing advice to give you. But I hope that this kind of helps you in a way because I'm really trying here. Okay. Well, I hope you have fun at your club, whatever kind of club it is. Actually, funny story. I was watching a Game Grumps moment earlier from like 2013, I believe it was, and Aaron was telling Dan about a club he had in high school called the D Club. It's I won't go into too much detail about it, but it's really funny. Just go to YouTube and search Game Grumps Aaron D Club or just Aaron D Club, and there will be like a 5-minute video about it has the word D Club in the title, so I'm sure you'll I'm sure you'll find it. And Aaron, it's basically them playing Ninja Bread Man, which I don't know anything about, and then like Aaron telling Danny about the D club that he had in high school with his friends, and Danny is just basically like, "No, you're screwing with me. You're making this up. You did not do this. This is not real." And then, like in the video, Dan he goes out of the recording room and asks Susie, Aaron's wife, if the D club was real, and she says yes, and she explained to him what it was, and he burst back into the room like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" And they just laugh like a couple of dudes, and it's so funny. Okay, bye. I hope you have a good sleep. I'm gonna put my signature at the bottom, cursive capital E and a cursive capital G. Earlier, I was watching an old episode of Steven Universe. It was called, I think it was called Joking Victim. It was that episode where Steven temporarily took over Lars's shift at the Big Donut because Lars faked having a back injury, and Sadie was telling Steven about how she liked Lars and she waited 7 hours in line to buy a video game for him, and he was basically kind of a sweet guy to her, and it was a really cool thing. And Steven suggested, "Hey, let's go take donuts to Lars. Let's do something nice for him." And then when Sadie found out that he was lying about it and he made a fool of her, and she wanted to get revenge on him, and Steven suggested using this fire salt that Amethyst had pranked him with earlier, and she poured it on all over the donut, and she was hesitant about it at first, but then when she was reminded that Lars lied to her, she poured it on the donut. Lars ate a piece of it, and he pretty much ran all over town with fiery breath. I bet that thing is like a ghost pepper times 1 million. Okay, bye, Midnight Mass. Okay, hang on, I gotta grab my Sharpies. I got it, but it doesn't want me to get it. Got it. Good. Yay. Don't fall over, Rose Quartz. I swear, I cannot believe I still look, okay. It's been it's been a long time since a single pale rose. It has been such a long time. But I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that Rose Quartz is Pink Diamond, or she was Pink Diamond. Like originally, Rose Quartz was not real. She never even existed because in reality, she was just Pink Diamond in a new form. And like that's super super like shocking still. Like I still cannot believe it. Because it's like one of the oldest theories in the fandom. And I'm pretty sure at the time that episode was aired, like I'm pretty sure everyone in the fandom who either came up with or supported that theory was like to everyone didn't who debunked that theory and didn't agree with that theory. I'm sure the people who agreed with it went to the people who disagreed with it and said, "I told you so." That's just all I was picturing. I was picturing a bunch of supporters of the theory going to a bunch of non-supporters of the theory with these cocky expressions on their faces, and they're just going like, "I told you so." That's just all I was picturing the entire time. Okay, first I had to wrap my head around it, but then afterwards, when I processed it a little bit, I pictured that in my head. I pictured the entire fandom going like that. I bet there's like a representative picture of that somewhere. And if someone hasn't drawn a representative, super meany looking picture of how the fandom basically reacted, then I will be very disappointed. Yes, Happy Tree Friends is dying, slowly but surely, but I will always love it. It will always be on my favorites list, and I will always watch it. I was watching some episodes recently. What episodes did I watch? I watched that episode called Peas in a Pod. It was that episode where that weird seed looking thing ended up in Lumpy's plant seeds bag, and he planted it, and then a pod Lumpy grew out of it, and it looked like him, and whenever he like cut it into pieces, like a new one would grow with it, and then it would just grow back its limb or whatever. And then he just basically had all these servants, but then they were like getting out of control, and it was really freaking. I'm just like, that's why you shouldn't, and that's what happens when something like that falls into the hand of an absolute moron. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way other way to put it, but Lumpy is a moron. I love the guy, but damn, he is a moron. Okay. So I'm doing the line art on the picture now. I'm gonna leave it like a monochromatic pop out look because I feel like it would just look better that way. I know I watched another episode. I know I watched another one. Oh yeah, what was that episode called? Read 'em and Weep, I believe. It was that episode that had Pop and Cub in it, and it was kind of a reference to The Exorcist, um, where Pop purchased that book at the rummage sale, and it caused a demon to possess Cub, and then in the end, Cub was beaten with a shovel, even though the demon left him. But Pop didn't realize that because he's also not too much in the head. But yeah, it was very similar to The Exorcist. If you don't know what that movie is, the best way I can explain it is a 1970s horror movie about a 12-year-old girl that gets possessed by a demon, and this priest, preacher, whatever person is trying to exorcise the demon out of her. And from screenshots I've seen, yeah, it does look pretty freaking terrifying. I haven't seen it, and I don't think I'm gonna ever see it since I already have a hard enough time falling asleep at night. But if you want to watch it, just enter at your own risk, okay? I read on the Wikipedia the summary of the movie because I was curious, and it does have a happy ending. The demon eventually does get exorcised out of the girl's body or whatever, and apparently she doesn't even remember being possessed, which is for the best, I guess. I mean, who would even want to go through the recovery after just being possessed by a demon? Speaking of which, in Read 'em and Weep, I felt really bad for Petunia. Like, she had such a gruesome, brutal death. I mean, she came to Pop's house wanting to sell him Girl Scout cookies. And then she just got roped into a demon eating her or whatever. And then she got pulled up from the garbage disposal in the sink, and it was just, I felt so bad for her. Ugh, okay. I'm gonna go grab a hat because these glasses will not stay on, and the hat will help keep it in place. All right, there we go. I swear I still draw flowers like a second grader. So, what else to talk about? Hmm. Oh yeah, along with Diamond Days, I'm also super hyped to go see Jeff Dunham live again because the first time I saw him live, it was uh it was pretty awesome, man. He was really funny. Oh yeah. Super legit Cindy. Every time I hear the word Cindy, I think of uh Cindy from that old cartoon Jimmy Neutron. Jeez, did anyone watch Jimmy Neutron when they were a kid? I mean, I kind of watched it. Some of it was a bit too much for me, but anyway, it was it was a pretty good show. I didn't watch it as much as The Fairly Odd Parents, but it was still pretty good. Do 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 do. And speaking of Jimmy Neutron, I really liked the Halloween episode where Jimmy made that invention that was supposed to give them the coolest looking Halloween costumes ever, but in reality, it just turned them into the real monsters of what their costumes were. Like, Carl turned into a real vampire, Sheen turned into a real werewolf. That was always like the theme of Jimmy Neutron, right? Like, he made some invention to help him with a problem that he faced in the episode, but his inventions didn't work out in the ways he had hoped. And then by the end of the episode, the issue was corrected and left on a hilarious joke. I also remember there was this episode where his mom was always telling him to pick up his pants, and so he invented this invention that would pick up the pants for him, but it ended up making his pants sentient, and then everything went haywire, as it always did. And I also remember there was an episode where his dad wanted to be like a ventriloquist. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I ran out of ink on my red Sharpie, so I need to get a new one now. Maybe I have a spare in a big Sharpie bag. Hang on a sec. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Red is a color that I run out of really fast. Anyway, what's this? So right now I'm using red to outline short fuses dialogue. So basically, what I drew was Toffee is giving Short Fuse some flowers with a blush and a smile, and Short Fuse is blushing and he's awkwardly taking the flowers and he's saying, "Huh, usually it's the other way around, but yeah, let's go with this." Because it's obvious that Short Fuse is a boy and Toffee is a girl, so Lucy, please stop whining. Oh, there it is. I was just like, where's my Sharpie holder? Where is it? I need a new pencil case for my colored pencils because my old one is, well, it's falling apart from the inside, but that's not really the problem. The problem is there's a hole in it, and I'm afraid that the colored pencils are gonna fall out. Ugh, I honestly don't get what is with this green one. Like, seriously. I heard a clatter upstairs. I'm going to ignore it. Have you ever seen any horror movie ever? When someone hears a clatter and they go to investigate it, they usually die or hurt in some way. Or they're never seen again. And right now I'm erasing the pencil line so I can start the inking process. And I think I'm just going to have it be inked because I think that it will just look better that way. And I'm going to have tiny splashes of color here and there because I haven't done a picture like that in a while. Sorry guys, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to draw those Steven Universe pictures. I think I just spent way too much time talking, but that's usually my problem in my other streams, is that I never talk enough and it's boring. But then when I talk too much, I never get anything done. It's just, I can never find a way to balance the two. Also, I'm really sorry that the stream took a while for me to get up because my computer, earlier when I was working on something, my computer just suddenly shut down because it said it needed to restart to take care of some things. And then when I opened it back up, like to start my stream, I found out that like I had to use this thing called the Ethernet, like attach an Ethernet cord to my computer, which I didn't freaking understand because I didn't have to do that beforehand. Plus, I don't even know what Ethernet is. So, it took me a while to figure out, but in the end I just decided, hey, you know what? Let's do what cavemen did back in the old days and just restart it and then it will be fixed. And I'm just like, oh yay, it worked. So now I can go announce my stream and then get it set up right after I watch this Stevani escapism work in progress animation thing. So that's why my stream didn't start until like 10 minutes later. So I'm sorry about the stream being belated. So what are you guys doing right now while you're watching me work on this art? Like, what you guys doing? Because it's obviously got to be more interesting than the likes of me. Organizing your online life, huh? Interesting. A very interesting. I've got a stomach ache right now and I don't know why. Maybe I'm getting close to my time of the month. I can't remember the last time I had it, but whatever. Sounds good. Hey, Bunny Balloon, want to hear something funny? Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my live streams. I enjoy them when I open up and talk about a lot of stuff while I work because it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something. Okay, so I was working on a chapter of my taking turns thing, which I've explained in the past numerous times is just a fan fiction of mini adventures with Flippy, Flickby, and Flaky. And sometimes the others are there too, like Cuddles, Toothy, and Giggles and Petunia. But the chapter that I'm working on right now, it's Flickby's turn, and basically something funny that happened, like it was Flippy and Flaky, like he stopped by from work. He works at the library in my AU because that was my favorite job for him to have in the series because it really fit him well. And he stopped by to get a bite to eat for lunch, and then he saw Flaky making a sandwich, and he also made a sandwich, and he sat down to eat with her at the table. And Flickby's just like, so do I get a sandwich or am I just chopped liver? And then Flippy said, you're chopped liver, I guess. Which is funny because like when Flippy eats, like they both get the food because they're like sharing the body, so I guess they like share a stomach or whatever. And like it's just funny because like that's something that my grandma and like that's something my family would always say to me when I was little, like when I would forget to give them a hug when I came to see them, or like I would give one person a hug and not give them a hug. They were just like to me, what am I, chopped liver? And then I would immediately go over and hug them. I think it should just read you I think it should just read you the scene because it's honestly really friggin' funny. Just like some of the things he says, it's just like no one even knows what the hell he's talking about, but they just go along with it because like what else can they do at this point? He also said something else about how like I don't know, like whatever he said, I can't remember right now. Whatever he said, it just reminded me of the time I said to my mom, I just realized corn dogs are hot dogs wrapped in cornbread and put on a stick. And my mom replied with, "Okay, I know I sheltered you a lot, but come on, Emily." And I just like laughed because I literally just realized that. Like I love corn dogs and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I just realized. It's a hot dog wrapped in cornbread and put on a freaking stick." And my mom is just like she's just like, "Where did I go wrong with this one?" Oh, somehow that makes it even funnier. I mean, I'm just gonna leave the line as it is, but somehow that's just really funny. I can't find it anywhere now. That is so weird, man. Okay. Uh, right now I wish there was something that I couldn't get enough of that I could sing about a little bit. I could just sing a little ditty or something like that. Mm. Kind of reminds me of like this funny thing from like a Simpsons episode where like they just got done eating Thanksgiving dinner and Homer's dad was there and he uh he had like mashed potatoes or whipped cream or whatever on his face, so it looked like he had a long white beard. And Marge, he was asleep on the table after just eating, and Marge picked up his head and put a Santa hat on it. And he woke up and he looked at his reflection in the plate, and he's like, "I'm Santa. Oh, now I'll never die." Like it's so funny, but at the same time, it's so friggin' sad. Just like to think, oh, so you actually want to die, Abraham? I think that's Homer's dad's name. I don't remember. I also remember I was writing a kissing scene between Flickby and Flaky. Like he wanted to say goodbye to Flaky before Flippy headed back to work after his lunch break. And then Flippy's like, the deal he made with him is like, okay, you can say hi to her, but you're gonna have to cover the rest of my shift at the library. And then Flaky basically joked and asked him, like, what was the price you had to pay for being in control this time? And then he's just like, I have to cover the rest of his shift at the library. And then she just giggles and he's like, oh, whatever, come here, babe. And then he gives her a kiss, and then he's about to like use his tongue or whatever in like the kiss, but she immediately knows what he's gonna do, and then she just kind of pushes him away, and she's like, no, she doesn't push him away. She kind of reaches under his beret and pulls his hair, so he pulls away, and then she says, as don't get too carried away, you dork. And then he says, yeah, but I'm your dork and you're kind of stuck with me, so get used to it. And then she just walks away and thinks to herself, I've been getting used to it for the past 2.5 years practically. I'm gonna color these flower petals red. That's a thing I'm gonna do. Okay. So right now I'm coloring in his boxing gloves. I really like I really like Short Fuse. He kind of reminds me of whatever, the kangaroo mascot from the old Dunkaroos commercials. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a heart attack. Do, 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 do. Man, it's just crazy how far we've come in Steven Universe. Like, in the first episode, Steven's main concern is that his favorite ice cream sandwich snack has been canceled. And now his main concern is he's trapped on an alien planet and his friends' physical forms are destroyed, and he doesn't and White Diamond is most likely going to have a fit and go all glowy eyed like we saw in the promo. So it's kind of a big leap, don't you think? Like from being concerned about your favorite ice cream sandwich being canceled to, oh no, I might possibly die or I might possibly lose my friends and never go home. That's a pretty big jump, don't you think? My mom doesn't like Steven Universe. That's why whenever my sister is around, she doesn't want me to watch it. She says that I can only watch it if my sister's not home or if she's asleep and in bed. My mom doesn't like anything on Cartoon Network unless it's Scooby-Doo. Um, I don't remember why my mom says she doesn't like Steven Universe. Every time I ask her, she always gives me such a different answer. First, it was because, oh, it's weird, and then it was, it's because it's about a kid with a friggin' belly button gem, whatever thing. And then she says, oh, it glamorizes things too much. I'm just like, okay, do you have an actual reason for not liking this cartoon, or are you just judging something before you even see what it's about in full view? Oh yeah, my mom watched Scooby-Doo when she was a kid because the first episode of Scooby-Doo aired in like the original series, like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Uh those episodes were like back in like the late 60s and the early 70s. Like the first episode aired in 1969. And unless I'm mistaken, the first episode came out just a few weeks before Sesame Street did. Yeah. My mom doesn't like a lot of the things that I watch. She doesn't like she doesn't like Steven Universe. She doesn't like Happy Tree Friends. She doesn't think that something that looks like a Care Bear should be murdering other people, which fine, I can understand that. But like not all cartoons should be for kids. Like I'm sure adults like to have fun too. I feel like my mom doesn't like Powerpuff Girls because she thinks that the Powerpuff Girls are brats, which fine, I can see why. I mean, Buttercup is kind of a brat. Um, she doesn't like anime because she thinks all anime is gross sexual things and sexualizing 12-year-old little girls and incest and all that, which yeah, there is a lot of that in Japan, but not all of it is like that. She doesn't let me watch Yaoi or Yuri because, well, that's a whole nother topic. Long story, dark history. Um my mom doesn't let me watch South Park, which she never let me watch it as a kid, and I'm glad because if I watched it as a kid, I would probably grow up to be a pretty bad kid or a delinquent, but I watch some parts of it and I look up some parts of it like on YouTube and whatever. And I wouldn't say that I like it. I only like certain parts of it. Like the theme song's pretty catchy. Uh, what was I gonna say? Yeah. And even though my mom does let me watch My Little Pony, she finds it disgusting that the majority of the fans of the modern My Little Pony are men and teenage boys. And I can understand why someone might find it weird, but I mean, just because just because an adult male watches My Little Pony and is a fan of it, that doesn't automatically make him a rapist that lives in his mom's basement wearing only his underwear. Like I've seen like bronies are actually really funny and a lot of them are really good. I mean, there's a whole convention dedicated to them and like the show writers acknowledge that they know what the brony fandom is and what the brony fandom does. That's why the episode Slice of Life was how it was. Oh yeah, I love Craig and Tweak. They're two of the best South Park characters ever. And I like Tweak a lot more than I like Craig because Craig's kind of a jerk, but Tweak is Tweak kind of Craig and um Tweak kind of reminds me of Flaky. I mean, he's got the spiky hair, the twitchy gestures, the nervous wreck habits, the stuttering. It's very reminiscent of Flaky. Flakers. I like that one. I like that nickname for Flaky. Just Flakers. I like that a common nickname for Flaky in the fandom, like when they're writing fan fiction, is Flakes. Okay, I'm done with it. Here, I'll show you what I got. Oh, hang on. Let me get rid of these reference images. I don't need them anymore. What do you think, guys? Look good? Love it, hate it, hold nothing back? Thank you. I want to draw my OC Jessica a lot more, and I want to draw pictures of her with Chrome Marmot because when I first made Jessica, I made her for the sole purpose of being Chrome Marmot's love interest. And since then, I've kind of expanded on her character a little bit, and I kind of want to expand on her character a little more because I think I've told you about Jessica a little bit. I mean, she's a calico cat from far out west. She's one of the new girls in Happy Tree Town. She's in her early 20s. She likes she's very southern. She's very sentimental about her family and she enjoys stunts and loves performing stereotypical cowboy cowgirl things like roping and lassoing and saying yeehaw. I just figure, hey, we have so many different types of people, like different types of characters. We have a retired war veteran, we have a skater boy, we have a tea party loving sheep, we have a mime deer thing, we have a paranoid porcupine, but we don't have a freaking southern cowboy cowgirl character. So, you know what? I'm just going to create a cowgirl character and I'm going to make it a girl because we don't have enough girls in Happy Tree Friends. There are only 4, which is pretty pathetic considering how many boy characters are there. If you ever wonder why so many ships in the Happy Tree Friend fandom are gay, it's because there's really not a whole lot for us to do. I mean, like, there are so many boy characters. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, if you don't like us shipping it with an OC, like, what do you want us to do? Do you want me to like create a reverse harem or something like a harem of some kind? Because like seriously, no. I mean, you might just think I'm default shipping because I have no other original ideas, but like, what do you want me to do, man? Like, there are so many more boys than there are girls. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. That, like, having I'm not a fan of the whole having multiple boyfriends or lovers thing. That's called being in an open relationship, and I'm not really a fan of open relationships because I don't know, I just really think it's stupid to be in an open relationship. Like, I'm not dissing anyone who is in an open relationship. Like, if that's your thing, then I'm not gonna try and stop you. But personally, open relationships are something that I am not a fan of. Like, if you love someone, then you dedicate yourself to them. I don't care whatever it is, like, you're doing it so you don't get bored of each other, or you're doing it for, like, because you're a Mormon or whatever. Like, open relationships are not my thing. Like, to me, that's cheating, and, like, if you're okay with it, "Oh, but if you're okay with it, it's not considered cheating." I'm just like, "But, like, it's cheating, but you're okay with it." So you're basically okay with your lover cheating on you to suit their wants and needs, and you're just, like, okay with this, but, like, I'm seriously not a fan of that. Like, I know monogamy is cliche and unrealistic, but, like, it's better than being in an open relationship. Open relationships are the dumbest thing ever. I used to think that being in an open relationship meant that you were open with your partner and that you didn't keep any secrets from them. I thought it was just that simple. But no, being in an open relationship means that you're okay with your lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, concubine, whatever, being with other people while you're still in that relationship. And from what I've seen from iZombie, open relationships don't normally end well because, like, I remember in the second episode, they were investigating the murder of a famous artist named Javier, and he and his wife were in an open relationship, and they didn't have any kids, so. Oh, I think I've heard of that. I'm gonna look that up later. But anyway, what I was saying was they were investigating the murder of an artist named Javier. His wife, Lola, I believe her name was, they were in an open relationship, and she said she didn't mind because they didn't have any kids, and apparently Javier, he the other women he slept with, they were like his muses for his paintings and all that. But Liv, the main character who's a zombie, she got visions because she ate Javier's brain, and she got his memories from, like, key words and key things that she had seen throughout the episode. Um, it showed that Javier was having plans about leaving his wife to have a child with one of his one of his models who was like 18 years old, and it turns out his wife actually did want kids, and she wasn't okay with this, so she was the one who ended up murdering him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. I've heard of that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that either. I mean, I guess one example of when I'm okay with it is the Flippy and Flickby sharing Flaky because they, like, share the same body or whatever. That's just one instance that I could be okay with it if that's what you're talking about too, but, like, what you just said there about, like, I that's just something that I wouldn't be okay with. I mean, the past me probably would have been okay with it, but I feel like I've grown up just a little bit, and I'm just things that I used to be okay with, I'm just not anymore. Because I've had counseling, and because I've had time to grow up, and I've had time to learn lessons about what's right and what's wrong. I guess I've just grown up a lot. And I always feel kinda awkward when I'm streaming because a lot of the people who watch my streams, they seem to be a lot younger than me. Like, some of them, like, could be as young as 10 or 9 years old, and they often talk about things that make me cringe or things that I'm not comfortable with or things that I would have been comfortable with years ago, but I'm just not comfortable with it anymore. Because I used to do really dumb and stupid things on the internet when I was younger. Not dumb to the point where, "Oh, no, everyone's gonna remember this and everyone's gonna hate me forever," type thing, but a lot of the old things I did on the internet, like, I can't even believe that I used to do that. So, I don't know. I guess I just there are things now that I'm just less okay with. But I think the main point of this topic is open relationships are dumb because from what I've seen, they're bound to not last. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why that triangle is like my go-to ship or why I obsess over it so much. I don't know. I guess it's probably for the same reason Flippy is my favorite character. Because I don't know why. I don't know why. This is unintentional, but usually my favorite characters are generally the popular ones. I don't know. I just like the badasses, the popular badasses of anything. I don't know why, and I don't care to know why. I think I have a big connection with a lot of the characters. Like Lammy, I have a big connection with her. I know she hasn't appeared very often, and we don't know a whole lot about her, but I feel like I connect with her a lot. And I started connecting with her a lot more when I started expanding on her character and giving her much more to invent on because I just really liked how I gave her the possibility that she could have been mentally unstable or viewed as mentally unstable when really she was just someone different who wasn't completely understood because why would she be understood? I mean, she could see and hear and speak to ghosts, and a lot of people can't do that, so why would they understand? Or why would someone accept her? Like, they feel people would view themselves as just normal people, and they just think of themselves as normal and higher up because they're not crazy, as they put it. But but I wouldn't think of it as being crazy. I would just think of it as you just have a really special gift that no one understands because they feel like maybe if they tried to understand, then they would be viewed as freaks as well. It all derives from one thing, and that's fear. So, I guess in a way, they were afraid of Lammy, and they believe that what they're doing is right. They believe that pushing her away and secluding her from their groups and not acknowledging her keeps them safe. And that's why Lammy never really had a friend growing up in my AU anyway. That's why the ghosts were her friends because they understood her because she could see them and they could see her in a way. Yeah. Yeah, I totally get where you're going with that. I don't know why I just became so sentimental and I just opened up to you guys like that. That's it's getting kind of late. It's like almost 10 past midnight. But if you want to talk on Amino, I'll stay up for like another half hour or something. I'm just gonna end the stream off right here because it seems like more people are just going to bed. So I'm just gonna go to bed. So I mean no, I'm not gonna go to bed. I'm just gonna end off the stream here and switch over to Amino. So thanks for watching, and I'm hyped for the Diamond Days finale. Yeeticus the Feticus. And Rose Quartz and Pink Diamond, aka the same person, they both say goodbye.